What's up, everybody? Chris back again for Brain and Barrel. I thought maybe this time it was about time to go over some of what do I carry. So I thought about what if I just do an EDC, just talk about some of what I carry with me on a regular basis and give you some insights into some of the reasons why and some things that you might want to think about when you're putting together your EDC. One thing I've kept since I was in the military is a knife. Very simple. I got a Kershaw. I think I actually got this off of Amazon, so it's nothing special. I mean, it's about 50, 60 bucks. But this is something where, for me, I feel like having a knife, you just never know opening up boxes, especially at work. We get in a lot of boxes, and so opening those things, that's probably the number one thing. But obviously, from a protection standpoint, it's nice to have as well. Another thing I carry, I saw this. This is a nifty little device that I never really thought that I would use or that I would carry, but I thought it was interesting to have, and I liked the concept. So this looks like a Sharpie, but this is actually a G5 plastic tip inside, so something you can carry with you in your pocket. It's very discreet. And just from a protection standpoint, I like to have this in my pocket just in case. Haven't had to use it, hopefully never have to use it, but rather have it and not need it than need it and not have it. There's a couple others. So my daily carry, this is, you see, safe and clear. So this is the M&P, Smith & Wesson M&P Shield Plus Carry Comp. So I got this. This was something I had watched a lot of reviews on, and then when I held it, I just thought, wow, it feels so good. So I will say, if you have not actually tested one of these, I strongly recommend it. It's a very good, from my perspective, it's a great option for carry. It's only an inch wide, so when you talk about, as far as a slim profile, super easy to carry. Has a good weight in the hand. I put a Siley optic on it. This is the Cat G Pro. It is an RMSC footprint, so that makes it easy. It's a green dot. I've seen a lot of reviews on the Sileys, and for those that may not be familiar, it's not as probably common as, say, like the Holosun or Trijicon or something like that, but this is one that I really like it. It's a green dot. I like the way it looks. I like the way it feels. I can hole punch with this. I mean, it's amazing. So as far as the difference between this and, say, a Shield Plus without the comp, I haven't shot the Shield Plus without the comp, so I can't speak to that, but I can say this compensator seems to give, for me, a lot of extra control. I've seen others that have said the same thing. I've seen others that have said, it's okay, it's not that great. Again, I don't have a ton of experience with compensators, and realistically, this is more of a port than a compensator, but realistically for me, I like it. This was one where when I was trying to figure out what did I want to carry on a regular basis, this was a go-to. So this is what I carry on a daily basis. I carry this in this is a hidden hybrid holster. I will say this is by far my favorite holster that I've tried so far. I got it with the claw. It's got the one clip. You can change this if you want to get like a metal clip. They also have one that has a different type of clip for your belt. But this fits in really nicely, and as far as daily carrying, never have a problem. Super comfortable, and that's going to be important for anybody that's carried before. You already know. You got to have something that you don't mind having on you and that you can stand carrying with you. Otherwise, you're not going to carry. When we talk about, obviously, I approach things from a different perspective. So if I'm talking about like brain stuff, it's interesting that we have what's called attenuation. So when you're anything that you're wearing on your body, a lot of times you forget that you even have it on, right? So whether it's socks or shoes or underwear, things like that, you don't think about that all the time. If you did, you'd go crazy. So there's a difference between sensation and attenuation, right? So, which is the perception. So your brain is constantly taking in all of the sensations. So if I'm carrying this, whether it's empty or whether I have my pistol in there, when I put this on, if I'm looking at this and saying, okay, well, I if I get to a point where this is creating so much perception of it all the time, and then it becomes to the point where it's annoying. So if you've ever had like a string or something that's like tickling your leg, that's what we're talking about with attenuation. You were sensing it, but you were also, your brain was paying attention to it. And so something like this I like because it really starts to just meld in. I don't have to think about it. Once it's on there, I forget that I even have it. It's very comfortable. I can sit, I can move. You know, there are times if you've sat for a little bit or something, you might notice it, but I really think overall, that's something that you got to think about is any holster that you put on, you want to obviously keep in mind that you have your weapon on you, but at the same time, you want to be able to go, oh, I put it on and I don't really have to pay attention to it. I know it's there, but I don't feel it all the time. So if it is comfortable, if it's a good fit, then you should get to a point where your brain is like, I don't have to pay attention to this. It's okay. It's not causing me any discomfort. It's not causing my alarm systems to go off. And so that's how I feel about with the hidden hybrid holster. I feel like this is something where I can carry this anywhere, anytime. I feel very comfortable with it. And so for me, that's a good choice. Maybe not for everybody, but I will say so far, every review I've seen for it, anybody that I know that's used one says the same thing. It's extremely comfortable. The backing is, it's a leather backing. It has suede on the part towards your skin, and then it has Kydex on the outside. Retention is good. I just feel like overall it's a really solid option for that. Another thing I'll talk about is so I have been through probably a million different sunglasses over the years, and I'm always looking for certain things about sunglasses. Like I actually like the earpieces to be a bit tighter because I generally will lift them up and stick them on my forehead, so that's just a thing for me. These fit really well. These are heat waves. I will say, now, I also want to be clear, none of these are sponsors, nothing like that. These are just things that I've purchased with my own money, brands that I like. I choose to do this because these are things that I've tried and I believe in. So heat wave sunglasses. What's interesting about heat wave is their first kind of priority is safety glasses. So for workplaces, so if you're a mechanic, if you're working out in construction, something like this, these are ANSI. And so these are actually good safety glasses. They're also good for the shooting range. They're ballistic rated. And so I have them not only in the sunglass form, but this is also what I wear on the range. I have clear ones that also have a side shield that's removable, so I wear the side shields. If I'm outside, I could technically wear these and throw my side shields on so that I can still get light in, I can still see, but I get the sunglasses, and they're the exact same thing, just these happen to be the sunglass version, and then I have the clear version. Of course, that's up to you, but I will say, you know, I've got small children, so you never know when you're out and about, if they chuck them, something like that. These will stand up, and they're super comfortable to wear. I mean, I can wear them all day when we go out on the weekend and stuff. I don't have any problems. Another important thing that I want to talk about is a water bottle. This one, I happened to get a tack pack, and I thought it was super cool, so I started using it. But why? So it's real easy to think like, oh, I drink coffee or I drink this or that. That's good. That's not helpful. But what I will say is, especially for overall health, brain health and function, and even for when you're out on the range, water is critical, right? So you've heard before, I'm sure, that the overwhelming majority of our body is water, but so is our brain. If you start getting dehydrated, your actual ability to hold a position, to whether you're hunting, whether you're camping, whether you're hiking, you know, it's really easy for us to think like, well, I'm out doing something physical, so then I must have to drink water. But we don't think about it when we're sitting at our desk. We don't think about it when we're at work. We don't think about it all the time. And drinking other stuff that's not going to hydrate or that's going to also create a diuretic effect can be a problem. So high amounts of caffeine, not great. Caffeine in and of itself, not bad, but high amounts of caffeine, not great. So if all you're drinking is Monsters or Red Bulls or something like that, I would probably say stop doing that. If you're drinking one in the morning or drinking one during the day, but everything else is pretty much water, that's a better bet. So generally what I'll do is I'll have like a Monster or a coffee or something first thing in the morning. If I drink coffee throughout the rest of the day, it'll usually be a decaf. Um, as far as the water bottle goes, this is only one, so I usually will fill this up. I'll finish this off in a day. In addition to, I drink a lot of Liquid Death, so I usually get it's sparkling water. It does have some slight flavor to it. They use agave for sweetener, so you don't get the sugar crash. You don't get all that. It's only got about 10 calories per a 16.9 ounce can, so you're talking very, very minimal as far as anything you're putting in your body but water. But it also encourages me to drink more water. And so, if you want to do something where you don't have any sugar, but you want to still get electrolytes, you could do something, smart water. I know people joke on it, they crack on it, but smart water actually does have electrolytes in it, magnesium, potassium, sodium, these kinds of things. Another thing that's important is you could even do something like an electrolyte pack, something like Element or Liquid IV. I generally would say make sure that it doesn't have a lot of other nonsense stuff in it, so not a lot of sugar, not a lot of other things that are trying to give it flavor. If it's got a whole long list of ingredients, probably not what you want. Liquid Death only has, I think, water, just a couple of other, it's like 3 or 4 ingredients total, and it's like agave and some natural flavoring. If you're looking at something like Element's going to have lots of sodium, potassium, magnesium, calcium. These are things that your body needs to rehydrate, to hold on to the water. So those are things where even if you just use an element every couple of days just to help rehydrate, helps your body hold on to water. People have a misconception that just by increasing salt, that's going to be bad. Same thing with caffeine. Doesn't mean that you can't have any caffeine, but you don't want to have it all the time. So a lot of these things that, when we're looking at anything you drink, anything you eat, if you're eating fruit, you're getting water intake. A lot of your water intake is going to come from your food. But most of us don't have great diets. And so, me personally, I eat like once a day. I might eat twice a day. If I do, it's usually like some hard boiled eggs in the morning and then I'll have dinner later. Or like, today I had lunch, but I won't necessarily eat dinner. Um, it just depends on what works for you. As an older guy, I've found that my body just doesn't need as many calories as it used to. I can eat once a day and I'll still maintain about 205 pounds, right? Like it will maintain my weight eating 1 meal a day or 2 meals a day. Um, so you got to kind of test out what works for you. As far as the liquid intake with your water intake, if you're eating a lot of fruits and vegetables and things like that, you're going to have a lot more water intake, so you might not be as thirsty. It might be a bit harder to get down just water. So you can balance that out. But for me, I know I don't eat enough fruits. I don't eat enough vegetables. I usually will eat like rice and meat and beans, something like that for dinner. I might eat, my wife makes Malaysian food all the time, so we'll eat that. So there's a bunch of these types of things that we'll do that realistically, you're looking at, you could do a mixture of your food and your drink, but ultimately you need to be thinking about how much are you hydrating. You'll feel better, you'll perform better, you'll think better. So if you're in a high stress situation and you're dehydrated, you're going to perform worse than if you are well hydrated. If you are trying to get through really focused work, um, if you've ever gotten a headache because you haven't been drinking water, the running joke of guys telling girls, oh, you don't feel good, drink some water. Well, we need to do the same thing. So, making sure that you carry a water bottle. I know there's a company called Iron Infidel. They have a really nice setup if you want to get something that's a little more rugged. I really don't care how you drink water. You just need to have some kind of a container and regularly consuming water. Um, so those are the things that I carry with me on a regular basis. One point on my pistol. So I do have a different set, obviously, for anybody that carries. You'll understand this. So I have hollow points. These are, I believe, these are Federals, and so I carry these in my pistol on a daily basis, uh, and then I swap it out when I'm going to go to the range. So, I don't have as many magazines as I'd like. I will say that if you are looking for a pistol, this one is a good option. It comes with multiple magazines. It comes with a 10 round, a 13 round, and a 15 round. I usually leave the 15 round in there because this extra little piece on the bottom gives me enough purchase for the bottom of my hand, and without that, if I use the 10, it's flush, and then my pinky's hanging off, and that's not helpful. So those are the things that I thought I'd share with you guys, and hopefully I'll have some more stuff. I have some new things coming in. I have some more in here that I'll go over at another time. And then as far as my daily carry, that's pretty much it. I hope that was helpful. I hope you got some information out of this. And I hope you'll think about sharing this with some friends. Like, subscribe, leave a comment. I'd love to talk with anybody that has questions, or, just share your thoughts. I appreciate your time. Be well. I'll talk to you soon.